Hey, this is Josh French. I am leading the Sheepdogs journey through the SoulCon 6-week challenge, and it is August 7th, Sunday. This is our fourth call, end of the official end of the third week and beginning of the fourth. And Clint and whoever else is going to join us we're going to just kind of talk through Hell Week that's coming up and what we've seen so far, kind of do an after action for this week, and then hopefully get ourselves set up well for the week coming up. So something, Clint, I started reading ahead a little bit. I'm trying to get a better, I don't know, milestone or guidepost of kind of how to give the guys heads up of what's coming.
Yeah, I was getting a little nervous. I'm like, what's Hell Week? So I did the same thing. I looked at each day what the daily challenge was, just to get my mind around what was going to happen.
Yeah, I don't really see any huge additions. Do you? I've only gotten through, I think, Wednesday.
Yeah, the thing, the food is going to be no carbs. I mean, that's the biggest thing is no carbs, just fruit, vegetables, lean protein, unsalted nuts, and protein powder. So that tells me even quinoa is out. If I understand that right.
I don't think quinoa is, because I think that's a good question. Where did you see the no carbs piece?
Page 72. Yeah, I'm just looking. It says, this week you are limited to fruits, veggies, including sweet potatoes, no white potatoes, and then lean proteins, unsalted nuts, and protein powders with no milk, only water. So if that's, I was assuming that meant zero breads.
Yeah, zero breads. And I think coconut milk is probably acceptable. You want to do that with your protein powder.
And I was gonna whether it can or not with peanut butter, the natural peanut butter, low salt. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that with some celery, but I don't know.
Peanut butter, almond butter, because they're the lean nuts. Mm-hmm. As long as they're the natural ones, where it only has like salt added. Or actually, you can get the ones without salt. But again, it's like I've got a buddy of mine who's trying to clean eat right now outside of SoulCon, and he's like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to kick up the fruits and the veggies, and we're talking about what he was thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, berries are good. They're low glycemic index. They've got good fiber. Now, where you're starting to get into trouble is when your high sugar fruits like plums and peaches and stuff like that, because it is, and grapes, because grapes was the one he mentioned as far as, that one's good. But honestly, you should be at a point where about 6 grapes and you're like, oh man, that's satisfies my sweet tooth. If you're eating like handful bunches.
I know, I've been telling it different. It's amazing. In 3 weeks now, as I eat things, my body's telling me. It's a little weird. I mean, yesterday was my eat more day, and oh man, I pay for it. I didn't even eat all that much, but it's like I had two hamburgers, 2 cheeseburgers, and one would have been plenty. I'm like, oh, it's my chance to eat it. I shouldn't even have done it, because it was just doesn't even agree with me anymore. Today
was mine, and I shouldn't have been eating anything fried because I'm on that detox thing. But I mean, it's Sunday. I'm exhausted. I mean, I probably worked an extra 20, 30 hours just on the house stuff, not counting my full-time job this week. And I'm like, you know what? Today I'm going to get me some chicken livers and some mashed potatoes and gravy. And I crashed. I mean, like, you throw that much carb, especially like processed flour. I couldn't even finish my lunch, let alone stay conscious for 15 minutes afterwards. It was amazing.
The one other thing I noticed on top of page 73 is push yourself as hard as possible. It looks like there's a competition how many
Yeah.
miles for jogging and walking, how many miles for cycling, how many miles for elliptical. So it seems like we should be pushing ourselves this week to continue with our 5K and do our 30 minutes, but really it looks like miles of walking, jogging, cycling, and elliptical.
Yeah, and he does mention at the end of, I think, Monday's challenge, he basically try to, if you're used to running the 5K, add a mile to it. Don't worry about time. So that's an interesting way to do it, is not necessarily time and repetition challenges. It's, total distance, which would make sense because if you're dealing with a group of different fitness levels, then,
Yeah.
whether you're running it, walking it, or crawling it, 5 miles is 5 miles.
Yep.
So how you doing with finding protein alternatives?
Doing okay. Luckily, I'm not that picky of an eater that I can eat the same thing over and over, which I know isn't good for my health. I really try to get variety, but I'm eating, since I can't eat chicken and turkey and beans and those types of things, eating pork roast, like loin roast, and beef roast or beef top sirloin steak. And then I live in Minnesota, so there's lots of fishing. So we have lots of fresh fish, and I like fishing, so that's a good excuse to go fishing.
Don't you
And
know?
yeah, I get some tilapia, and so I'm just really alternate every other day with tilapia, beef, and pork, and then sit with tons of veggies and throw in some quinoa and brown rice, and that's pretty much my meals, every meal. And I mean, but then I throw in fruits and vegetables and
Do you like salmon?
I can't eat salmon. I'm
Okay.
partially allergic to salmon too, so that's not good. Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a good thing.
No, and I tried tuna. I did do the Greek yogurt. I never had Greek yogurt before, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, that Fage is my absolute favorite. And it the first couple times I tried it, I'm like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I actually use that to substitute for anything with sour cream now. I've been doing that for a couple of years.
That would be good. I tried tuna. I don't eat tuna a lot, but I took tuna instead of mayo or something. I put some Greek yogurt in there, and it was good enough to eat. And I just ate it just mixed up. And with I did get some almond granola. I tried to find the healthiest granola I could and do that with some strawberries or blackberries, some kind of berries during the day. Sometimes throw that in if I get a little sweet tooth.
Yeah.
But,
Unsweetened coconut flakes, if you can do coconut too.
Oh yeah, I could do that.
It does add a lot. It adds a lot of good fiber. The oils in it are good for you. If you're really jonesing for something sweet, berries with we're probably out this week because of Hell Week, but starting the week after, Kim, that health coach that's running the detox, she posted a picture about coconut butter.
Oh.
Coconut butter is actually different than coconut oil. It's like if they just shredded up and pureed like the coconut flesh, and it has this almost kind of grainy but really sweet, especially when you're not eating any sugar. You can throw that and melt that on at room temperature over some berries or something, and it kind of gives you that berries and cream kind of feel to it. I mean, you have to use your imagination on some of these alternatives, but.
Right.
But yeah, and tuna mixed with olive oil and some dill, either fresh or powdered, is really good too.
Oh yeah. We did pick up some of that powdered peanut butter. I haven't tried it yet, but we picked up some of that.
Me too.
So it's been good. I eat eggs for breakfast sometimes, and I haven't done the egg white thing because I hate throwing away part of the egg. I know they're cheap, so I just have like 2 regular eggs, hard boiled or just scrambled or something with some veggies mixed in.
I've got 3 chickens here, and we spoil the daylights out of them, so the yolks are like golden, almost like safety orange. They're that good.
Yeah.
For me, eating a commercial egg is very difficult, but for me, throwing out that yolk when I know it's got tons of vitamin A and E in it, yeah. But it's kind of like anything else, Honestly, the intent of a lot of these elimination diets, whether it's with SoulCon or with anything else, is because we are compromising everywhere in our diet you have to eliminate. You have to tell people to eliminate this completely, this completely. This just kind of heal. So when you're looking for pork, even if you got some a little bit fattier cuts just for the flavor,
Yeah.
You're not going to do yourself a huge amount of damage because your body's processing that stuff. Whereas, 2 months ago when we're, eating a bunch of bread and
Right.
sugar and everything else, and our body's already fighting that, and then you add fats on top of that, you're just compounding the problem.
Right. I figured, I know it's probably not the best, but yeah, if there's a little bit of extra fat in it, I think my body will probably do good because I'm not getting the extra fats I was other places. But
Yeah.
even like almonds, unsalted almonds, and take 10 of those at a time type thing, and one per day or something.
Yeah, and that unsalted piece is going to kill me this week because one of my favorite go-to snacks are those smokehouse almonds from Diamond.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't have a lot of the other BS in it, and I love the flavor on them, so I'm going to have to switch to the raw ones this week. But almonds for me is kind of a great go-to.
Yeah.
But pistachios are the same way. But honestly, pistachios kind of make me a little gassy, even with the Texas stuff. So, but they're good heart health nuts, and we're really blessed to have a bunch of kind of not natural grocers, but kind of that Whole Foods type around where they have the big bulk, and you can choose, 5 or 6 different varieties of the mixed ones.
Yeah.
Salted, unsalted, obviously anything with honey in the title is just going to be pure sugar.
Yeah.
But, it's the same way with, getting some lean ham and stuff like that. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to have honey in the title because, you're just sabotaging yourself.
Yeah. Yep.
So I am still struggling to get all my runs in a week. So that's going to be my real focus because honestly, my knee started giving me fits, but then again, I'm doing 1,000 other things that's putting some stress on that. And I've got one of those patella straps. You seen those in the Walmart or whatever?
I don't think so.
Like Mueller makes them, and it looks like almost like an armband you put on when they do the blood draw.
Yep.
It's got a plastic tube inside of it, and it fits underneath your kneecap. So you wear it at the front of your knee, and it kind of fits right there.
Yeah.
It just tightens those ligaments in that kneecap from moving, and that's where I've got my pain point. So I've worn one on my worst knee, or I've even worn 2 of them from time to time in years past, and those things are amazing. It's really interesting what you can do with pressure points.
Yeah.
I
had similar, not saying but my calf the first week, I just, gave it all, and man, it hurt my calf. And so the second time I jogged and then walked, and then about 1.5 miles in, my calf was really hurting again. And I mean, literally for a few days, I couldn't walk down a stair. It was so bad where walking was really tough. And so then I got shoes, and I got those compression socks, and I mean, like you probably, one of those, I pretty much will go until it hurts a lot, which isn't that smart. And so the last 2 weeks, I've been walking the 5Ks, but I realized I work at a big manufacturing facility. I walk a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I can walk almost as fast as I can jog. I was doing 5Ks in 37 minutes.
Yeah.
Walking. And I'm like, that's not too bad. I mean, when I jogged, I didn't make it much faster than that. So I'm just
and most 5K training programs are like 12 to 16 weeks. So if you think about it, we're 3 weeks into this, and you start running, in week 1 and week 2. That's a pretty good accomplishment to add, 6 miles to your walking routine in a week. That's extremely helpful.
Right. So I'm hoping the last one I did was Friday, and I was like, I don't know if my calf's good enough or not, but it didn't hurt. So I jogged a few blocks. I'm like, I think it feels pretty good. So this week I'll try jogging a little bit more, and we'll see how it goes. But even if I don't want to hurt it, if I can't jog, I'll just walk really fast and add an extra mile or something like that. I'm getting up. I used to get up at 5:30 or so in the morning. Now I'm getting up at 4:45 each day, and so that's how I'm doing it in the morning. Is I'm just getting up, and just first thing I do is throw stuff on and just go for a walk. And It's about, in Minnesota, it's about 60, 65 degrees at that time.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, it's not too bad. High
Oh,
humidity.
man.
But
Dude, it's like 82 at 4 in the morning here.
so it's not too bad. But, yeah. I'm having a harder time getting the extra 30 minutes of exercise in, but I walk a ton each day. I mean, I put 10,000 steps on by noon most of the time. So
That's awesome. I mean, it sucks that that's part of your job, but all of my jobs except for this last one with Coca-Cola have been, I've been moving, even in leadership and process improvement roles and stuff like that. I was more hands-on, I had to be in Gemba and see what was going on. So I was moving around. And man, I got to this one and I gained probably 30 pounds my first year at Coke. That and I was drinking the sodas, which doesn't help.
Yeah.
But I just, and then at that second year is when we started Plexus, and we started at the beginning of December. And here's the weird thing about the Plexus stuff. We just started with the accelerator and the Slim.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And this is Christmas time. And I know because I have friends in Minnesota, the South is the same way. Christmas time, regardless of where you're at, there are smorgasbords of goodies. Every person's house you go to, every office. And we just noticed we went to somebody's house for Christmas, and all kinds. Chocolate is a huge weakness of mine. All kinds of food laid out, and I'm looking around going, yeah, I had a bite of that. I don't have platefuls of this. And we're like, what is going on? Because this is Christmas time. There's no calories at Christmas.
Right.
So, as far as your calf goes, don't let your wife see you do this. But take a rolling pin.
Sorry, I lost you there. What did you say?
Don't let your wife see you doing this, or if you do, wrap it in saran wrap.
Yeah.
Take the rolling pin, and you can actually roll that soreness of wherever your calf is.
Yeah.
And it hurts like the dickens for a few seconds.
Yeah.
It works in the recovery. It really does.
That's good to know.
I've done that on my shins and on that bottom part of my calf. Is if I get pains in my calf, it's usually that how if you're really in shape, it kind of makes that heart.
Oh yeah.
Like an upside down heart, but that's not me. Usually towards that outside of whether it's the right or the left is the most stress for me, and then that muscle that wraps around to the front of the shin, right in that area, and there's kind of a connecting muscle piece. Those are my three sorest areas with, and I've hit that thing with a rolling pin. I've used foam rollers. I've even used tennis balls or golf balls and rubbed it in there, and it, like I said, it hurts like the dickens, but it does help you recover.
Yeah,
it really does.
So to get back to the Hell Week thing, so is that how you understand it too? Is fruits, vegetables, meats, unsalted nuts, and protein powder, coconut milk probably okay?
Yeah.
But I mean, really, it's zero breads.
Yeah.
Take it and just minimum, no carb. I mean, no tortillas or anything.
I'm glad this guy doesn't take away black coffee because I would probably lose my nut. I'm telling you.
Yeah, if I would have had to fast without coffee, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I don't think.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah, and we used to put mini moos, the French vanilla by the gallon, pre-Plex. Well, a few months ago in Plexus, that was one of the last things to go. And now we just do a little dash of stevia in black coffee, and that's okay. Even black coffee, straight up.
I used to go through gallons of that Coffee Mate hazelnut.
Oh yeah.
And then I thought I was doing myself a favor, for a while, and I switched to the Bliss, which is real cream. And I started mixing in black cups, and then I've been buying less and less. Every once in a while, if it's like a special occasion, I'll try like a latte or something. But I can't do the same drinks anymore, even on a special occasion that I used to do, like those peppermint mochas from $100.
I wouldn't have a chance, I don't think.
Oh,
when we were in Vegas, when you went to the convention, right?
Uh-huh.
And so they gave us for New York, they gave us like $75 or free at a bar or restaurant, and we weren't going to drink there. And so we're like, well, they can use it at Starbucks. Like, really? So we ended up $75 of free Starbucks.
Wow.
Not Starbucks. Yeah. So
That's
every
like
day.
That's like 4 or 5 coffees.
I know. So we ended up getting like 2 a day for 3 days or something. And so we had the huge coffees. And I sent my wife and I into La La Land having that much. It was like, just floofed it up with the strong vanilla, this and that. It was good.
One of the only things I would have changed about convention is if they were going to introduce Edge, they should have done it on the first day. Because conventions are absolute fun, but they are a marathon. And it's, once you guys, either your personal team or the sideline teams that you're involved in gets bigger, you're pretty much going from early in the morning until very late at night. You try to carve out a few minutes with some friends that you don't see very often in the middle of the night. It's just, man, it's a marathon week.
I'm trying to figure out something with the Edge because I took it for like 5 days. Great, loved it. I'm allergic to mushrooms, and I watched the Ame Darling, and when they talked about the ingredients and stuff, and there's some type of mushroom in it.
Oh.
So I was fine, but then I haven't been sick since I started Plexus at all. I mean, zero. So it's over 6 months. And then about 5 days, I took Edge for like 4 or 5 days. And then about 5 days later, I started getting all this sinus stuff. I actually got laryngitis, like I almost lost my voice. And it was like my back of my throat was itchy and scratchy. It was like, what is going on? I haven't been sick at all. This is like insane. Why would I get sick? And so I had no clue. I didn't know why I got sick. And then about 3 weeks later, I seen that special. They said there was some type of mushroom in it. And I'm like, I wonder. So I'm not going to do it part of the SoulCon, but after the SoulCon, then I'm going to do it again and say I'm going to take the Edge for a week, see if the same thing happens. So
yeah, that's interesting. And I haven't tested this myself. I have the only real food allergy I have is mango, and I don't know if it's because my family was really good about giving us a variety of stuff when I was growing up. I don't know if I just overdid it on mango or something, but there's such a concentrated amount of zinc in it when you eat fresh mango. It just gets these little hivey things. It's not like my throat swells up or anything. It's just inconvenient for a couple of days. But I've talked to tons of my friends who it took them about a year, maybe longer, for different food allergies of being on the triplex. And then they were able to, have it here and there, or not, massive doses. Without any adverse effects, because your body is built up. It started healing, and now it's able to deal with those histamines that come in from whatever your trigger is. But everybody's different, and if you have to look out for mushrooms and chicken and turkey and air and everything else you're allergic to, brother.
I know.
You just have to deal with it. So
yeah. I know we're digressing here. Everybody's going to be like, "Hey, what kind of call was this?"
That's what they get for not dialing in. Exactly. Start talking about our feelings and yeah. So so back to this thing. So my big takeaway is obviously a super strict diet, and there's no feast day this week.
So we have 7 days, 6 days.
Yeah. So if you are listening to this and what you're trying to figure out to do, I'm going to post something on the team page. If you're getting your 5Ks in effectively for the last 3 weeks, then bump up the mileage. And you're intended to push yourself this week. So this week should be challenging. So if you want to go back and redo some of those time challenges that we did, I don't necessarily – if you're going to do like a max push-up, max set-up, that kind of stuff, that's coming up again in week 5, which is the week after this one. So if you're going to do stuff like that, I would alternate your form. So push-ups, do wide arms and close hands and regulars and elevated if you're going to challenge yourself by adding extra push-ups. With set-ups, I would do supine bicycles, leg lifts, high knees, mountain climbers, those kind of things, in addition to setups and abs and crunches like that, because your abs do recover quicker. Squats, maybe mix in some lunges instead of all squats, because I'm just wanting you to build that up and do your best, and then when you get to the next week, so I'll look into doing some stuff like that too, because I need to strengthen my lower body a lot more.
That's a plank that we did. I never did planks before, and I think I may try to do that more often. Do that a few days. Just throw in a plank time or something every other morning or something.
Yeah, I think, and there's some plank challenges. If you're on Pinterest or even just search Google images and stuff like that, there's all kinds of little workouts, like a graphic that shows you, like, do this for 30 seconds and then do this, 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 and this. Okay. Those are kind of clever. You know, they're just kind of ways to mix it up a little bit. So, yeah, so that's what I'm looking at. So the point of this week is to suffer a little bit more than we have been. Those of you who are struggling to get the daily 30 in and the 40 push-ups and the 5Ks, then this is your week to absolutely get it done. If you are able to meet those challenges, then the request, the command, the mission for this week is to bump that up a little bit. And I encourage you in the squads to be posting, hey, my goal is 12 miles this week and I'm at 6, you know, whatever it is. Just, you know, throw some challenges out there. You guys are getting real quiet on the squad pages. So we need to bump that up a notch, because it's not just my conversation. It's you guys talking too. So, Clint, you have anything for the group?
One thing, I guess, and I don't know if other people are doing it, but I'm failing miserably, is the tracks. You know, it's supposed to be handing out tracks, and
oh yeah,
yeah, I'm like, whoa, wow, I don't even have any tracks. How would I hand one out? I have had the ability through this to people like, hey, what is this SoulCon thing you're posting about, or what are you doing? I've been able to say, hey, a warrior for Christ, here's what that means to me. So I've been able to have conversations, and I've been able at men's breakfast yesterday morning. I was able to, they're like, wow, what's a SoulCon thing? And they're like, that's pretty cool. So, you know, I got in there and been able to talk to people at work about it. So I've been able to talk to people about Christ and what this is, why I'm doing this. But I haven't, you know, in here, we're supposed to be handing out tracts and stuff, and I haven't done it. And so that's one thing I know I'm not doing. I
haven't either, and it was a target for me as soon as we finished the house to get it on the market, to make an effort for that. But I don't remember the last time I even had a track in my possession.
Me either. I was going to say, where do I get one? I'm sure I could order one or go to the church. They'd find me one.
Yeah, I'm sure the church has one. Do you guys have Christian bookstores around? I mean, like Lifeway or Mardell's or something like that?
Not close, but I can get to one, yeah.
Yeah, I know they have them still, and that's where I'm going to go, is one of those type places.
Yeah.
And look for them. And I'm not going to get the ones like my grandfather he was a pastor. And the ones I saw when I was a kid used to scare the daylights out of me. The little cartoon ones with the guy's face, you know, like it's not, I don't think they do those anymore, but just in case, mine are going to be a little bit more bold and standing in the word, but not quite as, I'm going to scare you to death with the comic. So, yeah. And I think maybe even those cards, you know, a track is basically just walking somebody through the gospel, either the Roman road or just steps to salvation. And that's really all it needs to be, whether it's a business card that has the scriptures on it, you can just walk somebody through it. So we'll talk about that more. I think that's a great topic for the next week if people haven't already been doing it. It's a great topic for discussion if you want to put it up on the squad or on the team page. That would be awesome.
Because I mean, I'm going through the physical stuff, the eating, the physical. That's all good and able to just challenge myself and get the growth there. But in the spiritual, saying the Lord's Prayer each day is good. I wasn't doing that type of thing, and that's good. But yeah, there still seems like there might be a little spiritual thing missing in what I'm doing as part of this.
Gotcha.
It's challenging me physically. It's getting me outside of my box. But I could grow probably more.
Yeah.
The spiritual side of it.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll definitely discuss it. Maybe there's something to the, loading up a backpack with some bars and waters and going out. I don't know. All right, brother.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to stop the recording. Hold on for a second.